The great alien council chamber was silent as the hologram flickered to life. Thousands of alien leaders, some insectoid with razor-sharp mandibles, others scaled like giant reptiles, watched the floating image of a small blue planet spinning slowly in the void. Earth. A human voice filled the chamber, calm yet firm. "This is Admiral Elias Voss of Earth Defense Command. To all interstellar nations, stay away from our world. We seek no war, but we will defend ourselves without mercy. This is your only warning." Gasps and mocking laughter erupted around the chamber. A massive alien with 4 glowing eyes slammed his clawed hand on the table. His name was High Warlord Krazek, commander of the Dravari Empire. "Pathetic," Krazek growled, his voice echoing like thunder. "A primitive world dares to threaten us. They still burn fossil fuels and cling to their single planet like hatchlings. Their warning is nothing but noise." Another alien, a tall, thin creature with pale skin, hissed nervously. "High Warlord, perhaps we should consider the possibility they are not as weak as they seem." Krazek's mandibles spread in a vicious smile. "Do not insult me with fear. This humanity does not understand its place in the galaxy. I will burn their world to ash and mount their leader's skull on my throne." The council roared in approval. Only a few quiet voices of concern were drowned out by cheers. The Galactic Council officially dismissed Earth's warning, labeling the humans as primitive and insignificant. As the chamber lights dimmed, Krazek opened a secure channel to his fleet. "Mobilize every ship. We will strike at once. Earth will never see us coming." Far away, in the cold darkness of the Sol system, a small group of human intelligence officers sat inside an underground command center beneath Cheyenne Mountain. Massive screens displayed countless streams of data. Suddenly, alarms blared. "Contact!" a young technician shouted. Multiple warp signatures detected at the edge of the system. Counting 50 capital ships. Admiral Elias Voss, a tall, broad-shouldered man with cold grey eyes, walked silently to the main display. He stared at the readings for a long moment, his face expressionless. "They didn't listen," he said finally. His voice was calm, but everyone in the room felt a chill. "They are coming for Earth." The technicians exchanged fearful looks. Most of them had never seen Voss afraid. "Sir," one officer said, "should we alert the public?" Voss shook his head slowly. "No, panic will kill us faster than their weapons. Begin Operation Starbound. Bring the fleet online." The room went completely silent. The Starbound fleet was a secret defense project, so secret that most governments didn't even know it existed. Hidden far beyond Neptune's orbit, massive warships had been built in total secrecy over the last 30 years. Today, they would finally rise. Meanwhile, in deep space, the alien invasion fleet advanced toward Earth. The Dravari warships were monstrous, each the size of a city. Their sleek black hulls glimmered under the light of distant stars. Freighters swarmed like insects around the larger vessels. Inside the flagship, High Warlord Krazek watched Earth's distant sun grow brighter on the view screen. His second-in-command approached nervously. "High Warlord, our sensors are detecting interference. Something is blocking our scans of the inner system," Krazek snarled. "A trick of the humans. Ignore it. Prepare to attack." The second-in-command hesitated. "Sir, I must advise caution. These readings are..." Krazek spun, striking the subordinate with a clawed fist. The officer crumpled to the floor, lifeless. "There is no caution," Krazek roared. "There is only conquest." Back on Earth, the starbound fleet stirred. Far beyond Pluto, in the silent Oort cloud, colossal human warships emerged from dark hiding places among the icy rocks. Their hulls were painted black to blend with the void. Each ship carried weapons that had never been tested in real combat. At the heart of the fleet floated the UHS Starbound, a ship so massive it cast a shadow over smaller vessels. Its engines glowed like blue suns as power surged through its systems. Admiral Voss appeared on the bridge, his uniform crisp, his face unreadable. "All ships, this is Voss. The time has come. For 30 years we prepared in secret. For 30 years we were mocked and underestimated. Today that ends." His officers straightened, pride and fear mixing in their eyes. "Humanity's survival rests on us," Voss continued. "We will not fail. Engage warp drives. It's time to show the galaxy what Earth is made of." The fleet vanished into hyperspace. Moments later, the alien armada appeared in Earth's orbit. Blue oceans and green continents filled their screens as they prepared to fire. Alien soldiers howled in triumph, but before they could attack, their sensors suddenly went dark. Every display in the alien fleet flickered, then shut off completely. Weapons powered down. Engines stalled. The fleet drifted helplessly above Earth like floating corpses. "What is happening?" Krayzek bellowed, slamming his claws against the controls. "No primitive world has this kind of power." A deep, unfamiliar voice echoed through every alien channel, calm and cold. "This is Admiral Elias Voss of the United Human Starbound Fleet. You were warned. You did not listen. Now you will face the consequences." Krayzek's 4 glowing eyes widened in shock. "Impossible! How do they have a fleet?" On Earth's moon, enormous shadows emerged from the darkness. Human warships, larger than anything the aliens had ever seen, lit up the void with thousands of glowing lights. The humans had been waiting. "Fire!" Voss commanded. The UHS Starbound's main cannon charged, glowing brighter than a star. The alien commander screamed, "Raise shields! Return fire now!" But before the aliens could react, a blinding flash lit up the battlefield. Cut to black. The void of space burned white as the UHS Starbound's main cannon fired. A beam of pure energy cut through the darkness and obliterated an alien battleship in a single shot. The massive Dravari warship shattered into fragments, its remains tumbling toward Earth's atmosphere like burning meteors. Inside the alien flagship, High Warlord Krayzek stared at his view screen, stunned. One moment he had been ready to claim a glorious victory. The next, one of his strongest ships was gone, destroyed in less than 3 seconds. "This cannot be," Krayzek roared, slamming his claws into the control panel. Sparks erupted around him as frightened officers scrambled to restore power. These humans are not primitive. How do they have weapons like this?" The dark side of the moon lit up as massive human warships rose silently from hiding. For decades, they had been cloaked beneath the lunar surface, disguised as harmless craters and rocks. Now, one by one, they emerged into the open void, their hulls glowing with cold blue light. Alien soldiers froze in terror as they counted the incoming vessels. There weren't just a few ships. There were hundreds, each one bristling with advanced weaponry. The largest ship of all, the Starbound, took position at the front of the human fleet. It dwarfed the alien cruisers, its sleek hull designed for one purpose: total domination. Inside the Starbound's command center, Admiral Elias Voss stood tall, his hands clasped behind his back. His voice was steady, but there was a sharp edge of fury beneath it. "Transmit to all alien vessels," he ordered. A communications officer nodded, activating the channel. Across every alien ship, the face of Admiral Voss appeared on their screens. His piercing grey eyes stared directly into theirs. "This is Admiral Elias Voss of Earth," he said coldly. "We warned you to stay away." You laughed. "You came to conquer us." His tone hardened. "Now you will learn why that was a mistake. Leave our system immediately or be destroyed." For a brief moment, silence filled the void. Then Krayzek snarled, his mandibles spreading in rage. "Pathetic. You dare threaten the Dravari Empire? You are insects before the might of the galaxy. All ships attack at once." The alien armada surged forward like a tidal wave. The void exploded with light. Alien cruisers fired massive plasma lances and swarms of missiles at the human fleet. The humans did not move. "Activate shields," Voss commanded. The Starbound's energy shield shimmered to life, a transparent barrier wrapping around the massive ship. The alien weapons struck it head-on and vanished, leaving only harmless ripples of light. Gasps filled the alien ships. Nothing in their empire had ever been able to completely nullify their weapons before. "Return fire," Voss said calmly. The human fleet unleashed hell. Railguns thundered, hurling superheated slugs that tore through alien armor like paper. Missile swarms streaked across the void, their warheads detonating with nuclear-level force. Alien ships exploded one after another, their destruction painting the dark sky with fire. The Dravari commanders screamed for retreat, but Krazek's fury drowned them out. "Fight! Overwhelm them! They cannot have more weapons than we do." But they did. The human fleet was smaller, yet every ship carried technology a century beyond what the aliens possessed. For every human ship destroyed, 10 alien vessels fell. As the battle raged, a young officer on the starbound turned to Admiral Voss, his voice trembling. "Sir, they must be wondering how we did this. Should we tell them?" Voss gave a cold smile. "Let them wonder. But our people deserve to know the truth." The officer nodded and opened a secure transmission to Earth. Across secret bases and hidden bunkers, human leaders watched as Voss spoke. "Decades ago, we found a crashed alien probe buried in Antarctica. We learned from it. We built weapons and ships in secret, knowing this day would come. Project Starbound was not just a defense plan, it was our ascension plan. The galaxy thought we were weak. We let them believe that, until now." His words were met with stunned silence, followed by cheers of pride and defiance across Earth. On the alien flagship, Krazek's rage reached a breaking point. He turned to his tactical officers, his 4 glowing eyes wild with fury. "Bring all forward cannons online. Target their planet directly. If we cannot have victory, we will burn Earth to cinders." His officers hesitated. "High Warlord, their shields, do it!" Krazek roared. Moments later, the alien flagship fired every weapon it had. A storm of plasma and missiles surged past the human fleet, hurtling straight toward Earth's surface. Inside the Starbound, alarms blared. "Admiral, incoming strike, direct hit on Earth in less than 30 seconds. The crew froze. Billions of lives were about to be wiped out. Voss's face remained stone cold. "Raise the planetary defense shield," he ordered. "But sir," an officer stammered, "it has never been tested on this scale." "Do it," Voss said sharply. No hesitation. High above the atmosphere, a shimmering blue field appeared around Earth. The alien missiles streaked closer, closer, until they slammed into the shield. The entire planet lit up with blinding light. For a moment, no one could see. Then the alien fleet's view screens cleared, revealing the truth the shield had held. Not a single missile had reached Earth. Krazek stared in disbelief, his mandibles trembling. No, this is impossible." On the Starbound, Voss finally allowed himself a thin, dangerous smile. "Now it's our turn." The Starbound's main cannon began to charge again, glowing brighter than a newborn star. The screen cut to black as a single deep tone echoed, boom. The void above Earth was silent for a heartbeat. Then the Starbound's main cannon fired. A beam of white-hot energy erupted forward, so bright that it blinded alien sensors. The shot pierced straight through 3 Dravari cruisers, splitting them apart like paper. The fragments burned as they fell toward Earth's atmosphere, leaving blazing trails across the night sky. On the alien flagship, High Warlord Krazek slammed his claws into the control panel. His 4 glowing eyes were wide with fury and fear. "No more hesitation," he bellowed. "Every ship, full attack! Burn their world! Tear apart their fleet!" Hundreds of alien ships surged forward, firing everything they had. Plasma lances cut across the void. Missiles streaked like angry comets toward the human fleet. The battle for Earth had begun. Inside the UHS Starbound, alarms blared, and officers shouted as the alien onslaught descended. "Shields at 90%, cried a technician. Multiple impacts detected across the fleet. Admiral Elias Voss stood at the center of the chaos, unmoving, his cold grey eyes fixed on the tactical map. He raised one hand calmly. "Hold the line," Voss said. The human ships tightened formation, their black hulls gleaming like blades in the starlight. Then they unleashed hell. Railguns thundered, hurling superheated slugs at near-light speed. Missile bays opened, flooding space with hundreds of precision warheads. The void lit up as alien ships exploded one after another, their remains scattering like broken bones. On Earth, billions of people watched the battle unfold on emergency broadcasts. Families huddled in darkened rooms, breathless with fear and hope, as their hidden defenders revealed themselves for the first time. For decades, humanity had been preparing for this day. Now they were finally fighting back. Inside his flagship, Krayzek roared at his sub-commanders. "Why are they so strong? How do they nullify our weapons?" A trembling officer stammered, "Their shields, they are unlike anything we've encountered. They are absorbing 90% of our attacks." Krayzek's mandibles clicked furiously. "No species develops such technology alone. Someone has given them aid." The officer hesitated. "There are rumors, High Warlord. Some ancient empires feared humanity's potential. They may have interfered long ago." Krayzek froze. "So that is it," he growled. "They were underestimated once, but never again." As the human fleet pushed forward, Voss's mind drifted for a split second. He remembered the secret history only a few knew. 30 years ago, deep beneath Antarctica, scientists had uncovered a crashed alien probe buried in ancient ice. It was thousands of years old, filled with technology far beyond Earth's understanding. At first, the governments of Earth had fought over it. Then they realized the truth. If aliens existed, invasion was inevitable. The nations of Earth united under one purpose: to reverse engineer the alien technology and build a fleet strong enough to fight the galaxy itself. Thus, Project Starbound was born. Billions of dollars and 3 decades of secrecy had led to this moment. A hidden armada, unseen superweapons, and humanity's survival. Back in the present, the battle raged on. Voss's sharp gaze locked onto a disabled alien cruiser drifting among the wreckage. "Commander Hale," Voss barked, "prepare a strike team. I want that ship boarded. We need intel." "Yes, sir," Hale replied, saluting before racing to the hangar bay. Moments later, a squad of human marines launched in sleek black dropships. Their mission: infiltrate the alien cruiser and steal whatever data they could find. As the marines breached the hull, they found chaos. Alien bodies floated weightless in corridors filled with smoke and fire. The survivors fought viciously, but the humans advanced with precision and fury. "Secure the bridge," Hale shouted. They hacked into the alien ship's data core, downloading files while fending off attackers. One Marine gasped as strange symbols scrolled across his visor. "Sir," he whispered, "you need to see this." Hale leaned over his shoulder. His eyes went wide. This isn't just an invasion plan." The file revealed maps of hundreds of star systems, all marked with red symbols. Earth wasn't the only target. It was just the first. "They've been planning a galaxy-wide purge," Hale muttered. "They want to wipe out every species that might rival them, starting with us." But then Hale saw another file. This one was hidden deep, locked behind multiple security codes. He hacked through them, his hands trembling. A single message appeared, written in an ancient alien dialect. It had been sent to the Dravari leadership thousands of years ago. Hale translated it slowly, his voice breaking with disbelief. "Humanity must be destroyed before it awakens. They are not prey. They are predators." The Marines stared at each other in silence. Everything they thought they knew about this war had just changed. "Transmit this to Admiral Voss immediately," Hale ordered. "Earth needs to know the truth." Back in orbit, the battle reached its peak. The alien fleet was breaking apart, but they still had numbers. For every alien cruiser destroyed, another 2 surged forward. On the Starbound's bridge, Voss received Hale's message. As he read it, his jaw tightened, and his hands clenched into fists. "So, they feared us," Voss said softly. "They tried to end us before we could rise." He turned to his officers, his voice cold as steel. "No more mercy. No more warnings. Unleash the full arsenal." The Starbound's secondary cannons powered up, glowing a deadly crimson. Every human ship followed suit. The alien fleet reeled as the humans pushed them back, but then suddenly a colossal new ship emerged from hyperspace. It was twice the size of the Starbound, covered in spiked armor and glowing with ominous red energy. Krayzek's triumphant voice boomed across every channel. You thought you had seen the might of the Dravari, he snarled. Now you face our true weapon. The monstrous alien dreadnought aimed its forward cannon directly at the starbound. Sir, a human officer shouted. That thing could destroy us in one shot. Voss's face remained calm, but his eyes burned with fury. All hands, he commanded. Brace for impact. The alien cannon began to glow brighter and brighter, until the screen was filled with blinding red light. Cut to black. The alien dreadnought's forward cannon glowed red, filling the void with a terrifying light. Inside the UHS Starbound, alarms screamed. Crew members clutched their stations, their faces pale with fear. Impact in 5 seconds. A technician shouted. Admiral Elias Voss stood at the center of the bridge, cold and unshaken. Brace, he commanded. The alien weapon fired. A massive beam of destructive energy tore through space, engulfing the Starbound. The screen went pure white. For a terrible moment, it seemed Earth's greatest warship had been destroyed. Then, the light faded. The Starbound still stood, its shimmering blue shields barely holding together, cracked and sparking with energy. Cheers erupted across the human bridge. They're still alive. Voices shouted across Earth's military networks, but Voss didn't smile. His expression was stone. Shields at 15%, his tactical officer reported. One more hit like that and we're finished. Voss turned sharply. Target their weapon. Return fire. The Starbound's main cannon charged and unleashed a blinding white beam. It sliced across the dreadnought's forward section, tearing away armor and sending debris spiraling into the void. The alien flagship staggered, its red glow flickering weakly. On the alien side, High Warlord Krazek howled in rage. Push forward! Do not retreat. Earth must fall today. Far away, in the Galactic Council chamber, alien leaders gathered in panic. Holograms of the battle flickered in the center of the chamber, showing the impossible truth. The humans were winning. Council members shouted over each other in terror. This is madness, cried a winged alien diplomat. How can a single backwater planet resist the full power of the Dravari Empire? Another, a scaled reptilian creature, hissed they should never have been allowed to develop. The archives warned us about humanity centuries ago. At the center of the chamber, the council elder, a tall ancient being with glowing silver eyes, stood in silence. Finally he spoke, his voice trembling. They warned us, he said. The humans gave us a clear warning. We ignored it. Now the galaxy will pay the price. Gasps filled the hall. Many began shouting for peace, for surrender, but a darker voice cut through the noise. No, hissed a shadowy figure at the edge of the chamber. They will not be allowed to rise. The humans must be destroyed completely, no matter the cost. The lights flickered strangely. A few councillors exchanged uneasy looks. Something was wrong here. Something hidden was manipulating events behind the scenes. Back aboard the alien cruiser that had been captured earlier, Commander Hale's strike team raced to extract more data. Smoke and fire filled the corridors, but the Marines pushed forward. Hurry! Hale shouted. The intel we pulled earlier was just the beginning. There's more buried deep in their systems. Finally, their hacker cracked the core files. A holographic map of the galaxy appeared, glowing red. It revealed a conspiracy centuries in the making. Hale stared in horror as the data scrolled past. This war wasn't started by the entire galaxy, he whispered. It was triggered by a small group, a hidden faction pulling the strings. The files showed strange symbols, not belonging to the Dravari or any known species. This mysterious faction had been whispering lies into the Council for generations, convincing them that humanity was a threat that must be exterminated before it could rise. They've been using the Dravari as pawns, Hale realized. Humanity was never their only target. They want control of the entire galaxy. One Marine swallowed nervously. Sir, what do we do with this? Hale's jaw tightened. We get it to Admiral Voss. The galaxy needs to know the truth. On the Starbound's bridge, Voss reviewed the data Hale transmitted. As he read, his normally calm expression turned to cold fury. They feared us so much, they lied to their own people, he said softly. They turned the galaxy against us. He looked up at his officers. This isn't just about Earth anymore. This is about every free species. We have to end this faction before they end us. The tactical officer hesitated. Sir, the enemy fleet is still massive. We're outnumbered 50-1. Voss's lips curved into the smallest hint of a smile. Then we hit them where they least expect it. He pointed at the holographic map. We take the fight to their territory. The bridge went silent. No one had expected those words, sir. That would mean leaving Earth undefended, an officer said quietly. Voss turned, his voice cutting through the tension like a blade. If we sit here, they'll keep sending more fleets until Earth burns. The only way to win is to strike at the source. The starbound fleet surged into hyperspace, heading for the heart of enemy space. Hours later, they emerged above a blood-red planet, its skies swirling with storms. At first, the system seemed quiet. Too quiet. Where are their defenses? A junior officer asked nervously. Voss narrowed his eyes. Something isn't right. Scan the area. Before the scan could complete, hundreds of warp signatures appeared all around them. Alien ships of every shape and size burst into real space, forming a vast ring around the human fleet. It wasn't just the Dravari anymore. This was the combined strength of multiple alien species. United under the Shadow Faction's control, the Starbound was completely surrounded. On the bridge, panic erupted. "There's no way out!" a young officer shouted. "They've trapped us, sir." Grazek's furious voice echoed through the comms, louder than ever. "You thought you were hunters," he snarled. "But you are prey. This ends now." Voss's face was calm, but his voice was ice. "All hands," he said quietly. "Prepare for the fight of our lives." The alien fleet powered their weapons, hundreds of ships glowing with deadly light. The screen cut to black as a single warning alarm blared. The darkness of space lit up as hundreds of alien warships emerged from hyperspace. The human starbound fleet was surrounded on all sides, trapped in a deadly ring of fire. On the UHS Starbound, red emergency lights pulsed as alarms wailed. "Warp jump is blocked," a technician shouted. "They've locked us in with interdiction fields." Another officer's voice cracked with panic. "Sir, they outnumber us 50-1. "There's no way through!" Admiral Elias Voss stood silent at the center of the chaos, his hands clasped behind his back. His calm, cold voice cut through the fear. "Quiet on this bridge," he ordered. "No, we're not dead yet." The crew fell silent. Even with death staring them in the face, Voss's iron composure gave them strength. Across the void, High Warlord Krazek's massive dreadnought loomed at the center of the alien fleet. His 4 glowing eyes gleamed with triumph as his voice boomed over every channel. "Humans, you fought bravely, but this is where your defiance ends. You will kneel or you will burn." Voss's face appeared on the alien screens, his gaze like ice. "We kneel to no one. If this is where we fall, we'll make sure you fall with us." Krazek's mandibles twisted into a furious grin. "Then you will all die." The alien fleet fired first. Thousands of plasma beams and missiles streaked toward the human ships, filling space with deadly light. "Brace!" Voss shouted. The Starbound's shields flared blue as the first wave struck, but dozens of smaller human ships were instantly destroyed. Their explosions lit up the battlefield like dying stars. "Shields at 60%, a tactical officer cried. "Enemy fire is overwhelming our defenses." Voss didn't flinch. "Hold formation. Return fire." The human fleet fought back with everything they had. Railguns roared, their projectiles ripping through alien cruisers. Missiles streaked out in precise patterns, shattering enemy lines. 2 alien carriers exploded in massive fireballs, sending wreckage spiraling into nearby ships. For a moment, it seemed humanity might break through. Then, the second wave hit. Massive alien dreadnoughts surged forward, their weapons hammering the human fleet mercilessly. Dozens of human ships were torn apart in minutes. The battlefield became a graveyard. "Sir, our losses are critical," the communications officer shouted. "We can't hold this position much longer." Voss's eyes narrowed. "It's time to reveal our trump card." He activated a hidden control panel on his command chair. A deep rumble echoed through the starbound's hull as stealth drones launched from hidden bays. They vanished from sight instantly, cloaked by advanced human technology. On the alien ships, alarms blared. Invisible attackers began tearing into their engines and weapons, slicing through hulls like knives through flesh. Confused alien commanders screamed orders, firing wildly at empty space. "What is this?" Krezek roared. "Where are they?" Voss's cold voice answered. "You thought we were primitive. You thought we had no strategy. Now you will learn." The alien fleet's formation faltered as entire groups of ships were destroyed by enemies they couldn't see. "Sir, our opening is clear," a navigator shouted. "We can break through their line if we push now." Voss didn't hesitate. "All ships, charge forward. Target the dreadnought." The human fleet surged like a spear toward Krezek's massive command ship. Alien vessels scrambled to block them, but the humans smashed through, leaving wreckage in their wake. As they closed the distance, the starbound's main cannon charged, glowing brighter than ever before. "Fire!" Voss commanded. The beam erupted, slamming into the dreadnought. Armor shattered and the massive ship staggered under the impact. For the first time, Krezek looked afraid. "Return fire!" he screamed. The alien dreadnought's forward cannon fired, striking the starbound directly. The ship shook violently. Sparks rained down across the bridge. "Shields are gone," a technician yelled. "Hull breaches on multiple decks." "Admiral!" Commander Hale's voice came through the comms from his strike team on a nearby cruiser. "We've hacked into the enemy network. Their entire fleet is being controlled by a single command hub aboard the dreadnought. If we take it out, the fleet will collapse." Voss's voice was calm, but his eyes burned with determination. "Then do it, Commander. Buy us the time we need." Hale and his Marines launched toward the alien flagship, dodging enemy fire as they closed in for a desperate boarding assault. On the starbound, Voss turned to his crew. "All power to weapons. We must keep the dreadnought occupied while Hale completes his mission." The starbound and its remaining escorts poured relentless fire into the massive ship. Even as their own numbers dwindled, inside the alien flagship, Commander Hale's team fought their way to the control hub. Blades clashed. Plasma bolts ripped through the smoky corridors. Finally, Hale reached the central core, a pulsing, glowing sphere. "This is it," he shouted. "Plant the charges!" The Marines set explosive charges around the core, while holding back waves of alien defenders. On the starbound, a technician screamed, "Admiral, the enemy cannon is charging again. If they fire, we're finished." "Time until impact?" Voss demanded. 60 seconds. On the alien ship, Hale slammed his hand on the detonator. "Charges armed. Get us out of here!" But an alien warrior lunged, knocking the detonator from his hand. It skidded across the floor, just out of reach. "No!" Hale roared, diving for it as the starbound's bridge filled with red light from the enemy weapon. 30 seconds to impact. The tactical officer yelled. On every screen, Krezek's face appeared, his mandibles stretched in a cruel smile. "Goodbye, humans," he hissed. Voss stared back at him, unblinking. "All hands," he said quietly. "Brace for destruction." The enemy cannon fired. The starbound's hull shuddered violently. The screen, filled with blinding red light, cut to black. The battlefield was on fire. The alien cannon's red beam tore through space, swallowing the starbound silhouette completely. For a moment there was nothing but blinding light and silence. On Earth, billions watched the live broadcast in horror. People screamed. Entire cities fell silent. Commentators shouted into dead microphones, thinking their greatest warship had been obliterated. Then the light faded, revealing the starbound still alive, barely holding together. Massive chunks of armor were gone. Fires raged along its hull, but somehow, impossibly, it had survived. Cheers erupted across Earth, but on the bridge of the starbound no one was celebrating. The crew was battered, bleeding, and terrified. "Shields are completely gone," a technician gasped. "We've got breaches on 10 decks. Engineering is barely holding the core online." Admiral Elias Voss stood firm in the center of the chaos, his expression like carved stone. "Status of Commander Hale's team?" he demanded. "They're still aboard the enemy flagship, sir," came the grim reply. "But we've lost contact." Voss clenched his fists. "Then we buy them every second we can." Inside the alien dreadnought, Commander Hale fought like a man possessed. His strike team was down to half its original strength. The corridors were slick with alien blood and smoke, the air filled with the stench of burning metal. "Hale!" a Marine shouted, tossing him the detonator. "We've got 20 seconds until detonation." Hale caught it and slapped the activation switch. The explosive charges around the alien command core began to glow. "All units, fall back!" Hale roared, but before they could escape, a massive bulkhead door slammed shut, sealing them inside. From the shadows, High Warlord Krezek himself emerged, his 4 burning eyes fixed on Hale. "You humans have caused me enough trouble," Krezek growled, his deep voice rumbling like an earthquake. "You will die here and your fleet will burn." Hale raised his weapon, breathing hard. "Funny," he spat. "I was about to say the same thing." Krezek charged with terrifying speed, his massive blade slicing through the air. Hale barely dodged, sparks flying as metal walls shattered behind him. The alien warlord fought like a storm-given form, every strike capable of cutting a human in half. "Hale!" one of his Marines yelled, firing desperately. Krezek's tail whipped around, impaling the soldier instantly. "No!" Hale roared, rage fueling his movements. He dove under the alien's neck swing, slashing upward with his combat knife. The blade bit deep into Krezek's armored arm. The alien howled, staggering back for just a moment. "Fall back, Commander!" another Marine shouted. "We're running out of time." Hale shook his head. "If we don't take him down, he'll follow us." "Go, that's an order!" The surviving Marines hesitated, then fled toward the escape route, leaving Hale and Krezek locked in a deadly dance. On the starbound, tactical alarms blared. The alien fleet was regrouping despite the damage caused by the human stealth drones. "Admiral, the dreadnought's cannon is charging again," a technician cried. "We won't survive another hit." Voss's jaw tightened. "All ships, focus fire on their weapon array. We take that cannon out, or we all die." The remaining human ships unleashed a furious barrage. Missiles and railgun rounds streaked across the void, hammering the dreadnought's hull. Sections of the alien superweapon began to collapse, but it wasn't enough. "They're still charging," the officer screamed. 10 seconds to firing." Voss stared at the screen, his mind racing. He had one last, desperate idea. "Prepare the Oblivion Protocol," he ordered quietly. The entire bridge froze. "Sir," his second-in-command said in shock, "if we activate that, we'll destroy half the fleet, including ourselves." Voss's cold eyes didn't waver. "If it's the only way to stop them, so be it." Back aboard the alien dreadnought, Hale finally gained the upper hand. Blood streamed down his face. His armor cracked and broken, but his determination burned brighter than ever. "This ends now," Hale shouted. He lunged, driving his combat knife deep into Krezek's throat. The alien warlord gurgled in fury and disbelief, then collapsed in a pool of dark ichor. Hale staggered to his feet, breathing heavily. He glanced at the glowing charges surrounding the core. "Goodbye, you monsters," he whispered, and slammed his hand down on the detonator. The entire dreadnought shuddered as the charges exploded. On the starbound's bridge, alien ships suddenly froze. Their coordinated movements became erratic, confused. "Admiral," the communications officer shouted. "Their fleet AI has gone offline." "They're falling apart!" Voss's eyes narrowed. Hale did it. The alien formation crumbled. Ships began colliding with each other, firing wildly without orders. For the first time, victory seemed within reach. "Target their engines and weapons," Voss commanded. "Finish this!" The human fleet surged forward, cutting through the chaos like a knife. Alien ships exploded one after another, the battlefield turning into a blazing inferno. On the alien flagship, Hale limped toward the escape pod, coughing through the smoke. He activated his comms. "Admiral, mission accomplished. The dreadnought is..." His voice cut off as a dark, distorted voice filled the channel instead. "You think you've won, humans," it hissed. "But Krezek was never the true master. We are the architects. And your galaxy has only begun to burn." Hale froze. "What?" What are you talking about? The voice laughed, low and cold. You destroyed our pawn. Now you will face us. Suddenly the alien planet below lit up with thousands of red lights. Massive structures began to rise from beneath its surface, like titans awakening. On the starbound, sensors went wild. Admiral? The technician screamed. New contacts emerging. They're not ships. They're something else. Voss's eyes widened as the planet itself began to split apart, revealing a colossal machine hidden beneath its crust. Dear God, Voss whispered. This wasn't their homeworld. It was their weapon. The screen went black as a deafening alarm blared. The battlefield went silent for a single terrifying moment. The alien planet below split open like a cracked egg, red light flooding into space. Enormous mechanical structures rose from beneath its crust, towering spires that dwarfed even the largest warships. Everyone, human and alien alike, stared in stunned horror. On the Starbound's bridge, alarms screamed as sensor data poured in. Admiral, a terrified technician shouted, "Those aren't ships, they're living machines." The central spire's surface shifted, revealing a colossal metallic face, its eyes glowing like molten stars. A deep, mechanical voice rumbled across every channel in the system. "We are the architects. The galaxy belongs to us." Billions of light years away, in the Galactic Council chamber, alien leaders watched the broadcast in panic. Their holographic projectors showed the massive machine world awakening. "What are those things?" A trembling alien shouted. "This isn't Dravari technology." A reptilian counselor slammed his claws against the table. "They've been hiding for millennia, manipulating our species like puppets." The ancient council elder spoke with shaking hands. "They warned us. Humanity warned us. But we didn't listen." The room erupted into chaos. Some counselors screamed for peace, others for retreat. But in the darkest corner of the chamber, a hooded figure merely watched, silent and still. Its hidden mouth curved into a smile. On the Starbound, Voss's voice cut through the panic. "Report!" he barked. The tactical officer swallowed hard. "Sir, the structures are generating energy levels we've never seen before. If they fire, they'll vaporize the entire fleet, and Earth will be next." Commander Hale's voice crackled weakly over comms. He was bruised, burned, but alive. "Admiral, I heard their leader. Krayzek was nothing but a pawn. These things, the architects, they've been controlling the galaxy for thousands of years." Voss's face hardened. "Then it's time someone finally stood against them." But before anyone could respond, the architect's central face moved. Its enormous jaws opened, releasing a deafening alien tone that shattered communication systems across every ship. The battlefield erupted into chaos. Ships spun out of control. Weapon systems failed. Even the alien fleets that had been fighting humanity moments before now fled in terror. "They're scrambling our systems," a technician screamed. "We've lost shields. Engines are failing." Voss slammed his fist on the command chair. "Listen to me. These machines are ancient, but they're not invincible. Find me a weakness." The navigator's fingers flew across his console. "Sir, the planet's core is their power source. If we destroy it, the whole structure collapses." Voss nodded sharply. "Then we go for the core." The crew stared at him in shock. "Admiral, to get that close, we'd have to fly straight into their defensive field," the officer said. "No ship has ever survived that." Voss's voice was like steel. "Then we'll be the first." A sudden message cut through the static, a strange, guttural alien voice. The screen flickered, revealing the face of a Dravari commander, one of Krayzek's former lieutenants. "Human Admiral," the alien snarled. "We have no love for you, but those machines are our enemy as well. My ships will fight beside yours." Voss's lips curved into the faintest hint of a smile. "Then let's show the architects what happens when their slaves rise up." For the first time, human and alien fleets united, forming a single line of defense. The battlefield roared to life as both sides charged the massive machine world together. "Engage everything," Voss shouted. "Focus all fire on that central spire." Missiles and plasma beams lit up the void. Explosions tore chunks of armor from the towering machines, but the structures were so massive that the damage barely slowed them. Then the architect fired back. A single blast of energy erupted from its mouth, vaporizing an entire alien carrier group in an instant. The shockwave knocked the starbound spinning. "We can't take many more hits like that." The tactical officer yelled. Voss gritted his teeth. "We don't need many hits, we just need one." He opened a secure channel to Commander Hale. "Hale, you're our only chance. You'll lead a strike team to the planet's core while we keep the machine distracted." Hale's face appeared on screen, bloodied but determined. "A suicide mission. Sounds like my specialty." As Hale's dropships descended toward the glowing cracks in the planet's surface, a strange signal cut across all human channels. It was the hooded figure from the council chamber. Its voice was calm, almost mocking. "Humanity was never meant to rise. You were a mistake. We allowed you to grow only to bring you here, to your end." Voss's eyes narrowed. "You're one of them." "An architect," the figure laughed softly. "No, I'm far older." Suddenly dozens of allied alien ships turned their guns on the humans, blasting several into dust. "Admiral!" a shocked officer screamed. "They've been compromised. The architects are taking control of their minds." Voss's hands tightened on the command chair. "Protect our strike team at all costs, even if we have to fight through our allies." Hale's team reached the surface of the planet. It wasn't made of rock anymore. It was pure metal, a writhing mass of machinery that shifted under their feet like a living thing. "Sir," one Marine whispered, staring at the horizon. "The whole planet. It's alive!" Massive towers around them began to unfold, revealing enormous weapon turrets. The ground itself split apart, swallowing entire dropships in molten rivers of metal. On the starbound, sensors went haywire. "Admiral," the tactical officer yelled. "The planet is moving. It's not just a base, it's a starship." Voss's face turned pale. "No," he whispered. "It's a planet killer." The colossal machine rose from its orbit, breaking free of the shattered planet's crust. Its glowing eyes turned directly toward Earth. Hale's voice came through the comms, filled with terror. "Admiral, if this thing jumps to hyperspace, Earth is gone." Voss stood, his voice calm but deadly. "Then we end it here." The screen cut to black as the architect's massive engines roared to life. The battlefield shook as the machine planet rose from the shattered crust beneath it. Vast towers unfolded into colossal weapons, glowing red like the fires of a newborn star. Its voice thundered across every channel, its words echoing inside human skulls. "We are the architects. The age of free will is over. All life will kneel, or be erased." The alien and human fleets scattered in panic as the planet's engines roared to life. It was no longer just a world, it was a planet killer, a weapon designed to destroy civilizations. On the starbound, Admiral Elias Voss stood at the center of the chaos, his face pale but unshaken. "Report," he barked. The tactical officer's voice trembled. "Sir, it's powering up for a hyperspace jump. Heading straight for Earth." Billions on Earth watched the broadcast with frozen terror. Families clutched each other. Entire cities prayed. If the architects reached Earth, it would mean the end of humanity. Commander Hale's dropship dived through firestorms as his team descended toward the planet's core access point. Below them, the machine's surface shifted and writhed like they were landing on the back of a living god. "Sir, the surface is unstable," a Marine yelled over the roar. "If this thing takes off, we'll never stop it." Hale gritted his teeth, gripping his rifle. "Then we stop it before it leaves orbit." The dropship slammed down hard. The ramp dropped, and Hale's Marines charged into a landscape of twisting metal tendrils and boiling energy rivers. Every step felt like walking into the mouth of hell. Above them, the starbound fleet engaged in a desperate battle to buy time. "All ships," Voss commanded, "form a wall between that monster and Earth. We hold the line here, no matter the cost." Human and alien vessels surged forward together, unleashing everything they had. Missiles, railguns, plasma beams. the sky lit up with the fury of 1,000 suns. But the machine planet's defenses were overwhelming. Entire ships vanished under a single blast of its colossal cannons. Suddenly, several allied alien ships turned their guns on the humans, blasting 2 destroyers into flaming debris. "They're compromised," the communications officer screamed. "The architects are overriding their minds." Voss's face darkened. "They've enslaved these crews like puppets." "Admiral," another officer cried, "if more of our allies fall under their control, the whole fleet will turn on us." Voss made a brutal decision. Disable compromised ships. If that's not possible, destroy them. His voice was cold, but his eyes betrayed the weight of the order. The humans were now fighting both their enemies and their allies, desperately trying to keep the battle from collapsing. Meanwhile, Hale's strike team reached a massive chasm deep within the machine's surface. At its center was the planet's power core, a swirling sphere of molten energy surrounded by a lattice of machinery. "That's it," Hale breathed. The architect's heart. As they approached, the machine spoke directly to them, its voice vibrating in their bones. "You are insects crawling across the skin of a god. Your resistance amuses us." The ground split open, and massive guardian machines rose from below, towering above the humans like titans. Their red eyes burned with hatred. "Contact!" A marine screamed. The battle was brutal and fast. Hale's marines fought with everything they had, blasting the machines apart with explosives and concentrated fire. But the Guardians just kept coming, waves of living metal trying to crush them before they reached the core. "We'll never hold out." A marine shouted. "Yes, we will," Hale growled. "Because if we fall, Earth falls." Back on the Starbound, the enemy's planet killer charged its main weapon. Energy gathered at its central maw, ready to unleash a blast that could wipe out half the human fleet in one shot. The tactical officer's voice cracked. "Admiral, it's ready to fire." Voss closed his eyes for a brief moment. Then he gave the order no one expected. "Activate the Oblivion Protocol." Gasps filled the bridge. "Sir, that will destroy our ship," his second-in-command said in horror. "It'll destroy you." Voss's gaze was steady. "If the Starbound dies to protect Earth, it will be worth it. This ship was built to be a shield. Today it fulfills that purpose." The crew fell silent, tears glimmering in some eyes. Then every voice answered as one. "Aye, Admiral." Inside the machine planet, Hale finally reached the core. His armor was shredded, his team reduced to a handful of survivors, but they had made it. "Plant the charges," he ordered. As his marines worked, the architect's voice thundered once more. "You cannot kill what is eternal." The core began to collapse inward, trying to crush them. "Hale," a marine yelled. "It's shielding itself." "We need more power!" Hale made the hardest decision of his life. He pulled the last fusion cell from his damaged armor and slammed it into the bomb. "This will give it enough juice," he said grimly. "But it has to be detonated manually." "Sir, no," his second-in-command cried. "There has to be another way." "There isn't," Hale's voice softened. "Tell my family." "Tell Earth." "I did my duty." He turned, giving one last salute, then sprinted toward the core as the others fled. On the Starbound, Voss saw the planet's weapon about to fire. "Oblivion Protocol ready," the officer shouted. "Do it," Voss ordered. The Starbound's engines overloaded, converting all remaining power into a single suicidal burst. A blinding white beam shot from its core, piercing the planet's shield at the exact moment Hale triggered the bomb inside. There was a heartbeat of silence. Then, the machine planet imploded, collapsing into itself before exploding outward in a cataclysmic blast of fire and metal. The shockwave tore through the battlefield, destroying countless architect drones and freeing the enslaved alien crews from their control. When the light faded, nothing remained but drifting wreckage. The Starbound floated in silence, its hull cracked and burning. Voss sat slumped in his chair, blood running down his face. "Admiral," the communications officer said softly, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Hale's signal is gone. He didn't make it." Voss closed his eyes. "Commander Hale saved us all." His name will never be forgotten. Across the galaxy, alien worlds celebrated. For the first time, they saw humans not as a threat, but as saviors. The Galactic Council declared a new era of unity. And in memorials across Earth, statues of Hale and his Marines were built, their faces etched into history, deep in the void, far beyond the known galaxy. A single glowing fragment of the destroyed planet drifted silently. Its surface cracked open, revealing a tiny, pulsing red eye. The architect's cold voice whispered into the darkness, "You have won this battle, humans. But the war has only just begun."